if I asked anybody, and we'll ask everyone on our panel, which I thought was kind of a funny thing because we've asked them, and I was a little bit shocked by the answers. It's like, on the one hand, millions and billions of people love it, and on the other hand, almost everyone that I know now won't even go near it.
I know, it's so bizarre.
It's
So
bizarre.
bizarre. When I went public in 2010, I told one of the presenters I was addicted to Big Macs,
Mm-hmm.
They nearly fell off their chair.
Well, I nearly fell off my chair because I didn't think you would even ever go with me to McDonald's, and I liked going to McDonald's.
Because you grew up
And you
there.
told me you like Big Macs. Like, yes.
Welcome to the Driving to the Rest podcast. This is Inelia.
And this is Larry. Just a quick note. If you're hearing this, you're on our free feed, which means you'll only get the first part of this conversation.
To access the rest, go drivingtotherest.com and subscribe to the Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Join us and our expert panelists for detailed insights and the after party where you're invited to join in the conversation. Head over to drivingtotherez.com and become a subscriber.
Your $8 subscription keeps this podcast ad-free and helps us keep the lights on and maybe even get a decent cup of coffee. More importantly, it connects you with a community of passionate wisdom keepers like yourself. So if you're ready to go deeper, join us at drivingtotherest.com and support the journey. Enchanted Gastronomy.
Enchanted Gastronomy.
Food as a mystical tool.
Hungry is the best sauce.
So today we're going to talk about the energies that can infuse food and also other things that can infuse food these days, right?
Right. Well, for me, it's like, it's strange, but some foods, even though it's exactly the same food, one day it's like delicious, and then another day it's
not so delicious.
Not delicious at all, right? And it's not just because it's the same food.
Like the same meal that you prepared one day and you tried a different day?
Yeah. It's like some days the spaghetti sauce is like magic. And some days, well, it needs more salt. Maybe it needs more pepper. I don't know. There's something in there. Is it too much hot? What's going on here?
Yes.
So there's something happening.
Right.
And it's not the spices.
Yes.
I think that's the mystic part of it. Mm-hmm. And, as a cooker of food, you always want your food to satisfy and be delicious. I pretty much always. I can't think of any time I wanted my food not to.
Right. You never wanted to make somebody ill.
Yeah, you don't want to make somebody ill or like, that's not so good. It's like, I did mess up and put chocolate in my spaghetti sauce one time.
You put chocolate into your spaghetti sauce?
I did.
Why?
Because I like chocolate and I like spaghetti. I thought maybe they're great.
And what happened?
Did not work.
No, it wasn't so good.
No.
Yeah.
But mystically, there are moods. It's like you can modify your own mood by the food you eat, right? Just at a biochemical level, like sugars or caffeines or hot spices, things like that.
Yeah.
And fats and carbohydrates, they have an effect on your mood.
They do.
I remember reading a book, Managing Your Mood with Food, something along those lines.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, never heard of that book.
Yeah, it was decades ago. And I thought about it, and it's true, right? Some of these foods can make you feel like chocolate can make you feel a little better. But there's a mystical ingredient that's not measured.
Which is that?
Like the love or the affection or the angels or the mystical something, that mystical ingredient in the food that makes something that's good. Through the moon, to the moon, right. Delicious, or something that's normally good. It's like, this doesn't taste right.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that mystical ingredient? I don't know.
One of the things Larry and I have noticed time and again when eating out is how some restaurants deliver a plate filled with flavor and life, while others deliver slightly salted cardboard.
Yeah, it's like not salted, like cardboard
Just
without
cardboard.
the salt.
It's bizarre.
Bizarre.
Growing up in a family steeped with mystical knowledge, it was not a secret that not everyone was allowed in the kitchen. Anyone who was angry was immediately removed, for example.
Wow, harsh.
Why did that matter, you may ask? The reason was energy and frequency. It wasn't just about how an angry person or sad person or person who was distracted with a television or radio show would forget how much salt they put in the pot and then deliver something that was too salty or not salt at all. No, it was more than that. I clearly remember as a 6-year-old as my mother exited the kitchen and walked around our small suburban home, talking to all her sisters and a couple of neighbors who were there at the time to see who could help her in the kitchen to make mayonnaise. She finally chose a young woman, and they both walked to the kitchen together. I could not see any difference between the women in the house myself. They all had said they know how to make mayonnaise. So I asked her, why did she choose this person above all the others? My mom gave me a list of things. One was that most working with... where is it?
One was mostly working with dark powers.
Oh, yeah. One was working mostly with dark powers. One woman, right?
So not good.
She was vindictive and malicious woman, and Mom didn't want the mayo to taste bitter.
Bitter mayonnaise.
Or actually to poison people,
Or
probably.
poison mayonnaise.
But she just said bitter at the time. Another 3 were on their periods. My mom said our family suffered with pain and bad temper, which would inevitably kill the egg and curdle the mayonnaise.
Jeez, sounds like a little bit of a generality. It's like, can some people on their period make mayonnaise?
Well, according to my mom, no.
Okay.
Because all her experience of women in their periods contained like vicious, angry outbursts and a lot of pain.
All right, so not the best mayonnaise makers.
No, when they were in their period.
Okay.
And the woman she chose was voted as the most capable mayo creator in the family, but she needed to be left alone until it was finished. No one apart from my mom who was cooking was allowed in the kitchen until the mayo was finished, which took about 30 minutes. Of
30
course.
minutes.
Yeah. Of course, seeing as I was only 6 years old, I was allowed to stay as long as I stayed very quiet.
Is the mayonnaise your mom making a 30-minute mayonnaise, like a vastly different mayonnaise than
Yes.
the kind my dad made? Because
I don't know about your dad's.
my dad had this bowl cup thingy, and he put oil in it, eggs in it, and I don't know, other stuff.
Boiling vinegar or lemon.
They stuck a blender in there. Zzz,
And
it was done in about, I don't know, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, that was magic.
Yes, yes.
So your 30-minute mayonnaise must not be that.
No,
All right.
we should make it one day.
Yeah, I would like to, because I did not like my dad's mayonnaise.
Oh, well, it probably didn't taste like the jar mayonnaise we were used to. So
No, it did not taste like the jar mayonnaise. So
that's probably why.
it wasn't very good,
Yeah,
but it probably was better.
it probably was.
Probably organic ingredients and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. That's probably what made you so strong today, right?
probably.
Yeah. Anyways, I watched the woman gently break the eggs open and separate the yolks, placing them on a flat plate. She sat down with a fork and started to gently, in very smooth circular motions, mixing the yolks together, then adding a few drops of oil at a time.
Are you kidding me?
I watched as the energy became beautiful, smooth, spiral. My mum tapped my shoulder and guided me out of the kitchen at that point. You were watching too intently, she began to explain why I was not allowed in the kitchen anymore. And the eggs don't like that. But now you have seen how it's done, and tomorrow will be your turn.
That's amazing. I can only imagine. Yeah, that's going to make a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. Half an hour of magically stirring and adding a few drips and drops. And
Yeah.
it's like creating a spell,
Yeah. Yeah, and
a food spell.
yes. And if I remember, I remember the lady that was there, I can't remember her name, but she went into an altered state, and you could see that she was actively keeping her frequency high while she was cooking,
Yeah.
while she was making the mayo. And But it was also like delicate, you know? Like almost anything would get her out of that state. That's why she needed quiet and nobody could get into the kitchen and all the other things.
Making mayonnaise in your house was an ordeal, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Did it last for a while at least?
No, because everybody just started really quickly.
Oh, darn.
And this was in Chile. And it was in the middle part, geographically part of the middle region of Valparaiso. And it was warm there in the summer. And like it got cold in the winter, but not very cold. So pretty much warm weather and mayonnaise don't mix together, you know? Of course, we had a fridge.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the mayo ever going in the fridge after lunch or dinner because it was gone.
What did you use your mayonnaise for?
Putting on potatoes.
Oh, so like butter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
Or
that's not what.
Or salad or eggs or bread and oh my gosh, yeah.
We just use our mayonnaise for mixing in tuna fish. That makes a sandwich.
Yeah, you could mix it with fish and make salads. I mean, sandwiches with it. Yeah, or chicken. So I watched the woman. Oh yeah, I did that. Read that already. I waited outside the kitchen, sitting on the tiled floor for the magical mayo to be ready. Eventually, the young woman came out smiling and carrying the plate, which was now filled with a deep orange, smooth mayo, which also sparkled with life force. I gasped at the plate, and her smile grew larger. Then she walked past me and to the dining room table, where she placed her creation to be admired by the rest of the family and friends.
Yeah, that's a different thing than a jar of mayonnaise out of the fridge.
Yes. To compare the flavor and energy of that mayo to what we pour out of a bottle purchased at this local supermarket would be impossible.
I can't. It is.
It's impossible.
It's nothing. It's not even the same creature.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even be called the same name.
No, it shouldn't. One might think that the shelf mayo is that way due to the industrial process only, but unfortunately that's not the case. Industrial food is purposely filled with death, necrotic energy, designed to make the masses sick. We can even eat the stuff as long as it's not done. We can eat the stuff as long as it's not done on a regular basis. But we mostly eat good, nourishing food. We can also channel divine life force and love into our food before we ingest it. This won't affect any poisons, GMOs, or nanotechnology in the food. They will still have a negative effect on our bodies, but the frequency and life force in the food can be added to support us rather than make us sick. For that to work, though, at least a little bit of life force needs to be in the food to begin with.
So all industrial food is filled with necrotics? Is that what you just said?
No.
What did you say?
Some of it.
Some of it is?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to give the impression that if you buy food at a chain burger filled with nanotechnology... Oh, no, this is a different topic, right? It's like...
Right, we're just talking about the industrial.
Yeah.
Like when I go to the store and I want to get supplies, you know, I don't want to spend a half an hour making my mayonnaise. I mean, I don't mind to eat some mayonnaise that takes an half hour of magic to make, but...
You don't want to make it.
I don't want to do that every time I want a tuna fish sandwich.
Right.
And so when we're in the store and we look at the mayonnaise aisle, now it's not just a section, it's practically a freaking aisle. There's 75 different mayonnaises with all different kinds of oils. There's soybean oils and there's canola oils and there's rapeseed oils and there's olive oils and there's mixed oils and there's cage-free eggs and there's no eggs and there's Hellman's and there's Miracle Whip and there all these different names, and then there's Kensington's and there's Chipotle's and there's hot pepper sauce mayonnaises and sriracha mayonnaises. And how do you pick the one that we're going to get?
There's a couple of things.
Yeah. Oh, and some of them are organic. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I look at when buying that type of food is the balance between how much live, beautiful, life-affirming food we're having every day.
Yeah.
Compared to the necrotic-filled, nasty stuff that we buy at the supermarket.
We don't buy any of that.
We do.
No, we don't.
We do.
We do not buy necrotic-filled. Well, okay, once, you know, not on a regular base. No,
yes,
we don't.
We do. Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So the mayo that we buy, it's not. You're right. It doesn't have any necrotic energy in it, but it does have. It's
Still
lifeless.
industrial and a little bit
It's
lifeless.
lifeless. It is a lot lifeless. It does. It has no life,
We
and it also has harmful chemicals in it, like soy, and other oils that are not life affirming. They're like life destroying. So there is that.
remember we were standing there having trouble because there were so many of them, and the ones that I guess looked like they might be the best because they said the right words on them, that
They're not
they
necessarily
tasted
good.
yucky.
Yeah, so that's one of the things to dissuade people from eating things that might have a little bit of life force in it, is to make it taste really bad.
Or it's more like probably that the taste we are used to is magically intertwined in some
Enhanced.
spells and some mystical somethings to make your body go, that's what you really want. That's what just tastes good. Maybe some of that.
Yes. Or some of that, what's it called? That flavor enhancer stuff.
No. we don't respond well to flavor enhancers. we know immediately when there are flavor enhancers in it.
Is.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm saying is it's not an easy choice.
it's not easy, no. But like I was saying earlier, if you balance it, that dead stuff that you put in your body, or lifeless, I should say, stuff that you put in your body with good live food, then you should be fine. It shouldn't like harm you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like for the taste,
It kind of like at some point, it's like almost like, well, I just don't want to eat anymore. Too
right?
hard to get the good stuff, and the
Yes.
bad stuff tastes good, and it's not good for me. And now, well, screw it, I just want to eat nothing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is how I was when I was a little kid.
It's like,
I refused to eat from being a baby.
yeah,
I refused to eat for years. And it used to drive my mom crazy trying to feed me things. But I would look at everything like that. I would look at it and see all this dead stuff. And it's like,
I'm not eating it.
no. There was no life force in it at all. And this was in the 60s and 70s. There was no life force in there. There's hardly any life force at all. Even though my mom wasn't the type of person to make soup out of a can, right? She'd buy all the vegetables, cut them, peel them, put them in the pot, simmer them, put in whatever, like a bone, meat, chicken or whatever into the soup to have the what's it called?
The broth.
Yeah, the broth itself. So she put all that energy into it, and I think that's what made it passable. Unfortunately, she also was
Full of bell peppers and whatnots.
she was let's just say playing the like dark paradigm and victim aggressor stuff. So she put ingredients in there that were clearly bad for me and my sister, my brother. But I suppose especially me.
Probably, no.
Yeah. So I couldn't eat it. Most of her food I couldn't eat without getting very, very sick.
So if you tune into your food too much, you're saying then you don't want to eat. And if you just, close your eyes and hold your nose, then it's probably fine.
Yeah, there's a level of
pinching off in order to ingest and enjoy it sometimes even.
No, it's more like a level of you're going to be grumpy because you're hungry.
Yes.
And that negativity is worse than eating dead food or lifeless food.
At least you're not grumpy because you're hungry.
Right.
Okay.
Because you're not hungry anymore. Your belly's full of something.
So what would be best is to get some Lemurian food.
Oh my gosh. After we went to Lemuria, I couldn't eat for weeks because the food there is so good and so alive. So delicious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And everything else, like immediately I saw that food in the restaurant and I'm like, oh my God, that's so bad.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand a little better now tuning into that. And if you don't know what we're talking about, just look into our archive and look for Lemuria. We went to Lemuria and you had some of the best food you've ever had in your whole life.
Yes. Yes. Very alive. Okay, so I don't want to give the impression that if you buy food at a chain burger filled with nanotechnology, GMOs, and necrotic energy, hold it in your hands, send life force and love into it, it won't harm you. This was
Wait. If you do that, it won't harm you. I mean, the food or doing it?
Yeah. I don't want to give you the impression that the food won't harm you.
So if you do that, charge your food with positive love, light, and all of that, it's better or doesn't matter or what?
So I'm talking about food that's filled with nanotechnology, GMOs, and necrotic energy.
So the worst food.
The worst food.
The food that's designed to make you get sick and die.
Yeah.
So if you have that food that's designed to make you get sick and die,
it doesn't matter if
you fill it with love and light and joy and all that, it's not going to make it better.
It's not.
So just don't eat that food, or don't charge it, or does it even help a little bit?
No.
All right.
No.
Just avoid it.
This was possible 10 years ago, but with the amount of life-destroying ingredients in the type of food today, your efforts are not going to affect it very much at all.
Wow.
Diligence is paramount, but there is no excuse to becoming a victim. So if you are to choose to eat that type of food, do it with full awareness and take steps to mitigate the damage afterwards.
Okay, so like if you eat some poison, then make sure and detox and
antidote.
Put the antidote in.
Yes.
Like full of nanos or whatever, so you need to detox the nanos. If it's full of like heavy metals, and you detox the heavy metals and
the GMO.
But how do you detox from necrotics?
That's a tough one. I'm actually going to be teaching people that, and if you're interested in that type of thing, you can go to my student website at walkwithmenow.com.
Yeah, it's kind of an advanced level training.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that easy, All
right.
To deal with this type of thing.
It's not really.
No.
It's like going to. Yeah, I can only imagine.
So, if you're worried about it, don't eat that food, right?
How can you detect the necrotics?
I think most people listening to this will know. They already avoid that type of thing. They wouldn't go and eat in a major chain food from there. They wouldn't probably buy GMO food from the supermarket and avoid that type of stuff. Yeah. But
is there a thing you can do with your hand or anything to
no.
like touch? It's like, is this food tainted?
Yeah, a lot of people use that. Muscle testing also. Yeah. Or they can use their own intuition, or even a, what is that called?
Dow's or a pendulum.
And here's the thing. If you ask your body, do you want this?
Yeah.
Your body will look at whatever it is and probably say yes.
Yummy.
Yeah. So you have to say to your body something different, like, is this good for our health?
Or maybe ask your soul.
Souls are not really into food.
But do they know whether it's bad for you or not?
I've never, soul is the one asking, so would they know just looking at it? I think it's more to do with the body and frequencies of the physical universe.
Okay. Good distinctions.
Yeah. So when you ask your body, is this going to harm me or harm our body? Then you'll get a more accurate answer. You say, is this going to support? Is this life affirming? All these type of energies are better to ask our bodies than, do you want this?
Yeah, because think about it. It's like, does your body say, do you want this bottle of wine? Or do you want this 6-pack of beer? Or, things that some bodies really want.
Yeah. Do you want this pack of cigarettes?
Do you want this whatever?
Box of chocolates full of GMOs.
And oftentimes is not. Some of our bodies will say, oh, yeah. So
yeah, so that
then I can ask my body again. So yeah, because I think you did teach technique at one time where you ask your body if you actually want this is actually good for you, or is actually going to make you feel better. How is this going to make you feel? Something along those lines. It was more specific. I don't remember the
right.
words.
So you need to work on those words, and don't use do you want this or do we want this, because that's not going to help you very much.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I imagine, since we have skilled listeners, that they have some phrase they use to check their food.
Maybe
It'd be good if they would share it in the comments,
Yeah.
you know, so we can like compare.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come out with a perfect phrase.
Yeah.
How to ask whether or not
Yeah.
this food is something you should be eating or not.
Yes.
Because I remember when you did that, and when you had that first class, I was drinking beers at the time, and I asked the beer, should I drink it in whatever way you told me to? And I was like, no. I was like,
What?
well, what? Are you sure?
This is organic beer.
This is organic beer, for God's sakes. The same with the cigarette. I had organic cigarettes too.
An organic wine, probably.
No, I didn't never drink wine. Anyways, yeah, it was, yeah, body said, yes, I do want it. And then, is this going to make you feel good or whatever it was? Is it going to be good for you? No. Like, oh, that's a different answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, one of the things that we have to be aware of is that normally most organic food will have some life force in it,
Yeah.
will be more supportive, but not all of them. There's some of them that have been hijacked and they've added items into those foods that are actually really bad for you.
Yeah, I started to get suspicious of organic food after a while because it's like,
Just because it says organic or non-GMO does not mean it's good for you. Okay?
right,
Because, for example, a lot of these things have stevia in them, organic stevia as a sweetener.
yeah.
However, organic or any type of stevia alters your hormones and it's actually very bad for you, for your body.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. It's like, I like to have a soda every now and then, you know?
Mhm.
And I go to the giant organic, they got good for you pop now.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them is stevia.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of conspiracy.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's not a conspiracy when it's true, is it?
I guess not.
There is an agenda going on the planet to make people sick.
That does seem to be true, yeah.
And if you're not diligent, you're going to fall for it. So you have to be diligent.
Okay.
There's other things that are like canola oil is very bad for you. Vegetable oil is very bad for you. Even if it says organic on there.
Yeah, I think it's,
Soy is very bad for you. It's full of hormones as well.
I think the general rule, as I understand it, is if the fat stays liquid at room temperature, that's not a good fat for you, with the exception of olive oil.
Avocado oil also seems to be good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that stays liquid for, I mean, yeah, it doesn't go solid.
Yeah, olive oil gets solid when it gets a little cool.
Yeah.
So that's
But
probably
avocado oil,
one of the hints. Maybe avocado oil.
doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know about avocado
I
oil.
haven't tried it. So room temperature is usually very liquidy, but I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll have to see about that. I don't know about that, but I do know that when I touch the bottle of organic avocado oil, I get, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
And then when I touch the olive oil, I get, yes, some of them, okay, yes, that's fine. Not all of
I
them.
think some of them are actually other oil.
Yeah, that's the
I've read
problem.
that too, is that they have more olive oil on the planet than they have olive trees that can make it.
So they put a lot of
So there's something else in there.
Yeah. And so you have to be wary of what you put in your body, really. You do.
Okay.
Organic, non-GMO industrial food will respond positively to life force and love infusion. Making your own mayo from happy eggs with the TV and computer off can create an enchanted, magical, tasty treat so long as you keep your own field of creation clean, clear, and high frequency too. If you're a grumpy bear at the time, it might not work at all, or it might taste bitter. On our podcast, this is what you're listening to right now, drivingtotherest.com, I will share a follow-up story 10 years later when I was set to prove my mom wrong and made mayo with the entire egg on my period and using a loud and chaotic power mixer. But she saw through my tricks and the experiment proved her right all over again.
Mama's right.
So there's a couple of things here.
Yes.
My mom thought that you literally could not make mayo. It just wouldn't work if you were in your period, if you used a power thingy, or if you use the entire egg. Okay.
I could use the yolk or what?
Yeah. So when I was in England, I was 16 at the time. So it was literally 10 years later. We had cooking class at the time. And they taught you how to cook. They taught you all the basics of life, right? And they made mayonnaise.
Fast, right?
Yeah, very fast, like you said your dad did.
Zzz,
And it's
done.
done, right? And I knew some of the girls in the class had their periods and their
Their
mayo
mayonnaise worked.
fine, just fine. So I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. So I went home and I told my mom. My mom says, "Oh yeah, we need some mayo, but you can't do it because you're in your period." And I said, "No, I can." So she said, "No, you can't. It won't work. You know, it's gonna curdle." And I said, "No, I can do it. I can just show you, and I'm done, and I can use the whole egg and all the thing, right?" So I went into the kitchen and she was watching this, right? So I put the egg in, the oil, I put a little bit of lemon and salt, and
Vinegar or whatever.
I started adding the oil very slowly, right? Just, and sure enough, there was very pale looking mayonnaise. And she tasted it and it tasted really good. And then she like looked at me going, how did you do that? That's impossible. Teach me. Right. So I did. And she tried several times and it curdled every time. It's the curdling is when the egg and the oil don't mix.
Yep.
They just refuse to mix and you just have an oily mix of little dots of egg in it, And she just couldn't do it. And then I had to, like, this is the funny thing. It's like I had to hold an energy of high frequency while she made the mayo for it to work. Right. And then she's like, what happened? How come if you're next to me,
it works?
It works. And then she started, because she was like a mystic also, she started trying different ways of making this mayo and experimenting with energies and ingredients. And then, one day she said, I want, come and watch this, she said. And so I went in and she had the blender. She was using the blender, not just the little machine. She had the blender there with eggs and I'm like looking, going, I wonder if this is gonna work, And then she started doing her thing, and I could see the energies going into it. She was doing the magical part, And then, and it was mayonnaise, And I'm like, okay. And then she said, yeah, if you only did X, Y, and Z, it would never curdle, blah, blah, blah. And what was it? What do you think she was telling me?
I don't know.
You don't know? It was about the energy, right? And for
the ingredients mattered little or less than the energy you put into it.
Yeah. And then it's like, if you put too much oil in, why doesn't it work at the beginning? Why won't it gel if you put too much oil at the start? And so she had all this methodology worked out, which was more like a
science experiment.
No, it took more time.
Oh.
Right. So the time aspect for her was necessary to create this alchemical product.
I see.
Yeah. And yeah, she said the eggs also mattered and all these other things, But it was an interesting thing. How did it prove me wrong? It's like the taste. You could take 2 seconds, make your mayo, you would taste it, and it wasn't that good. Like you said, it's like it does mayo, it wasn't that good, right? And the same with the stuff you buy at the supermarket. You get used to it and you think that's the way that mayo should taste, right? Because that's what you know as mayo. But it's not that good, and it's not that good for you either. So the one that she made was delicious. It was nicer than the ones that I was making. And she did dropped the whole you can't be in your period part, and she understood why it wasn't working because of the energies that she knew about anyways. You have to be in a good mood to cook and or play good music while you're cooking. And so she put that together and she made something better. Yeah.
Okay.
But, it's like the other day I went to make some mayo here, and all I had was a rickety old, I couldn't find the new mixer thing, the wand mixer. I couldn't find the new one. And we had a rickety old one that made a lot of nasty noises.
I think it was in the trailer too long.
Yes, actually, it was in the area too long on our boat. And I tried to make it. It did not work. It did not work. The dissonance and the energy from the machine was just too much for the egg, or even too much for me to hold that space, It just didn't work. I had to throw it away and throw the machine away and do a little bit more for finding the new one that doesn't make as much noise.
So what do you think it is in the necrotic food that is so attractive, but then becomes repulsive? You know what I mean? It's
Can you give an example?
like McDonald's burgers and Big Macs, things like that. So I remember when I first started working at McDonald's when I was a teenager. I mean, it was pretty yummy. Where our McDonald's had, it was the first McDonald's in Alaska. And, entire towns would make orders of 500 cheeseburgers, 200 filet of fishes and things like that. And they get airplaned in with a special charter flight. I mean, it was like delicious. I mean, that was the most yummiest food ever invented on the whole planet, right? I mean, look, there's McDonald's every single where you go. And it's not even just one. There's like 5 or 10 of them in a block radius sometimes.
Yes.
So it's not repulsive food, even though if I asked anybody, and we'll ask everyone on our panel, which I thought was kind of a funny thing because we've asked them, and I was a little bit shocked by the answers. It's like, on the one hand, millions and billions of people love it, and on the other hand, almost everyone that I know now won't even go near it.
I know, it's so bizarre.
It's so
bizarre. When I went in public in 2010, I told one of the presenters I was addicted to Big Macs, They nearly fell off their chair.
Well, I nearly fell off my chair because I didn't think you would even ever go with me to McDonald's, and I liked going to McDonald's.
Because you grew up there.
And you told me you like Big Macs. Like, yes, let's go.
They changed in 2017, though.
It did.
Forever.
And I've checked on them many times. Well, not many times, but every
now and then
I go back and try one and see if it's like repaired.
No.
And I don't know if it's,
look at the store, man.
I don't know if it's me that's changed, or the food that's changed, or both that's changed.
No, it's definitely the food.
All right, well, I guess I'm the same.
Yeah.
Chopped liver, just nothing happened here. 10 years.
Correct.
Raise my frequency.
With regards to food, you're the same.
I'm the same. Well, when I go there, I've I had one. I mean, the Big Macs and all those. That's just went. I mean, just can't do it. I eat it, and then immediately after, I can't even eat the whole thing.
Right.
And about halfway through, it's like maybe the first bite might have a little bit of
the old stuff,
old feel, but it's the second bite, and it's like over. I can't do it.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. And then I used to have a standby, sausage and muffin with egg in the morning, the breakfast thing. They didn't mess that up because it's like egg and a sausage, right? But they managed to destroy that too.
Yeah, they did. They destroyed it.
Yeah. So all of the things I've tried there now don't work. And then the last time we just went and got our truck. So we have a nice truck in order to tow our trailer all the way to Colorado. And remember, right across the street was the McDonald's, and it was putting out a whole bunch of yummy smell.
Yeah, and it wasn't yummy smells that I saw.
Well, maybe
you sensed yummy smells, but I saw.
I had a new kind of chicken thing.
What I saw was horrific.
And you were
was horrific.
Horrified.
I didn't even know what was there to begin with. I looked up and thought, oh my God, we have to get out of here. There's a monster there. Like giant necrotic tentacles going out of this building. I couldn't even see the building. Yeah. And then I realized what the building was, and I thought, no way, what happened? How did it get so bad?
Well, you got to remember, necrotics are necromancy. And if you don't know what necromancy is, Google it.
Yeah.
Then you kind of begin to understand what's going on. And we talk about this in more detail in our
Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Because sensitive topics like this they require a mature audience.
Yeah, it
And
does.
so we'll cover that.
Plus, you get to support us for $8 a month.
Yes, it's nice to be supported.
Before we go, we recorded most of these interviews on Mother's Day. And we
Indeed.
had one question that we asked all of them. Oh, yeah, we had several. But one of these questions I want to ask because part of my article talked about how my mom was right.
Yes.
Right? So, Larry,
Yes.
was there anything that you can think of that your mom told you that later on in your life you realized that your mom was right?
Well, let's see. Most of my adult life, my mom had quit drinking, and she said that I should not drink because drinking's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mom, I got it under control. Yeah, I should have listened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would have had a much more productive, happy, healthy, wonderful, fulfilling, and satisfying life if I had never drank alcohol.
Wow. All right.
So she was right.
Yeah.
And I tried to prove her wrong.
You did?
I mean, many, many, many times.
Yeah.
Every time I failed.
Well, thank you for that and for sharing that very personal story.
Yep.
Yay! See you on our Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Yep. Coming right up.
Coming right up.
If you're a subscriber, it's starting right now.
Yeah.
Love you, honey.
It's really tough. It's really tough to just like eat food on this planet. But to your question of like,
How would you phrase your question?
questions exactly? First,
Should I go in this restaurant or not? Would be like the first. How do you ask that question?
well, first it's like I need to gauge my kryptonite of like we just need to eat or suffer, right? And because sometimes, like, especially if I'm traveling, I don't have the luxury of.
So it's like a gauge.
It's a gauge.
Yeah.
Like how
I'm super
hangry, starving,
or
bad.
necrotic, bad food. Fill me up. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like how awful are we going to be? You know, you got to have some type of barometers because I know Fred was that for me for a really long time. Like, do the Fred test. Like, give it to Fred. If Fred will eat it,
Then
and it's good. Yeah. Then that's cool. And that's how I learned to really read labels better was because Fred, because he would be like, oh my God. Now I'm more like, Fred, just keep it to yourself, please.
Well, why do Doritos taste good? They're made of cardboard and chemicals, and they taste fantastic.
Mm-hmm. MSG, baby.
MSG, baby. So, but then, you know,
those are like programmed foods. They're designed to like, you're never satisfied with just one.
Yes.
Because your
not
body thinks you got meat, and then it says, but I didn't get any meat actually, so keep eating there, try some more so we can fill up our meat. But hey, you still didn't get enough, keep eating.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's why that's the obesity thing for the United States, because that's what the typical person is eating.
Join us for the rest of this conversation at driveintotheres.com.
And when you go to driveintotheres.com and you join in the rest of the show, rest of the second hour, you also get to join in the after party. 9 o'clock on Fridays, we all get together, including you.